Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia, and I'm excited to welcome you all to the Bright Child Foundation webinar. Thank you for attending. Imagine a world where every child has a chance to shine. That's the future we are working towards at the Bright Child Foundation. We believe every child deserves a good education, healthy food, and a safe place to grow up. But our mission doesn't stop here. We also want to teach children to care for the environment because a healthy planet is important for their future. Today's webinar is the start of our journey together. We are glad you're here with us. During this session, we'll share our founder's vision, discuss BCF's initiatives, and explore how each one of you can help. At the end, we'll answer any questions you might have. Now, I would like to introduce Krishna Parisetti, the founder of Bright Child Foundation. Krishna's passion for helping children and his dedication to education has inspired us all. Thank you again, all, for joining. I now hand it over to Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alicia. Hello, all. I greatly appreciate everyone taking the time to attend this webinar. I know everyone is really busy. It means a lot when I see so many people coming together with a good intent to help the society. I want to share a little bit about my journey, how I ended up here and why I started the Bright Child Foundation and what is the vision behind it. A brief view, what you could see here is I did electrical engineering, finished in 96, landed in US in 97, been there with Microsoft for almost 18 years. And in 2015, I decided to resign the company and then started Valero, a services and products-based company. While I was in US, always my parents visit in a year. They are there with us for maybe 6 months, and then the other 6 months they spend in India. In 2021, what happened, my mom was diagnosed with liver disease when she was in India, and the doctors gave two choices. One is liver transplantation, and the other choice is to leave it the way it is. Unfortunately, the transplantation is not an option because she is 75 and doctors were not recommending. So we had to make a hard choice of saying we have to leave it the way it is and give a good life to her as much as we could. And they conveyed maybe max of 1 to 2 years. So what I did, I spent quite a bit of time in India during those 2 years. Until then, though I am in US visiting India, I was more of a visitor and a tourist. So I don't get to see much of an issues, what's happening in India. But in those 2 years, 22 and 23, I was exposed to a lot of challenges around me. And in 23, my mom passed away, and that's when I also started this Bright Child Foundation. In a span of maybe a year, approximately, we were able to help 8 schools. I will go, step by step to show you how we ended up where we are. So in this picture, you could see this is my father, this is me and my mom. These are my in-laws. Our journey always, the plan is every day we go to some temples or some places where my mom likes. So that's the typical trend we have. And this is the apartment I was actually living in. My parents were actually living in. There is a reason why I'm actually showing these pictures. There is a story behind each and every picture here. This complex has around like 8 buildings, and every building has their own association. I was really wondering myself, why do we need an association separately for each building? They're all part of the same campus, built by the same builder, has the same compound wall. The thing to notice there is the lack of unity. Every building want to do things their own way, and I was pretty shocked to see why there is no unity. And then the right side, you see here a motorbike with a lot of dust. Any vehicle that you park in the underground parking, it's full of dust. The reason is the street that in front of this apartment complex, it's like a 2-kilometer long stretch. A lot of soil is exposed. When the vehicles are moving, the dust is actually flying up in the air. So I suggested, why don't we do a tree plantation for that stretch of 2 kilometers? So that should help reduce the dust, and also it should help with the sound pollution. We tried, I set up a meeting, invited all the business owners, homeowners in the street. Everyone wanted to do the tree plantation, but the government is not giving us the permission to do it for whatever reason, which we don't understand. And then we approached some politicians, and they were asking some bribes to let us plant trees. So my thought process really came in wondering, we are trying to do good for the society, and the government is not letting us to do, and then maybe the politicians, even though they are aware, they want to take advantage of the situation. So the planted trees that you see here, we all did, overnight, as if some robbery is actually happening. All homeowners said, I'm just going to plant it tonight, and let's see what happens, right? So it is such a pathetic situation that we had to choose this kind of a path while we are trying to do something good for the society. On the right side, you see here a security person sitting in our parking area. The problem that I have seen with them is throughout the night they have to sit, and there are a lot of mosquitoes. It's not an easy thing for them. We all have, rooms. We have nice mattresses. Even then, I don't think many of us could sleep properly. So these people actually go through a lot of suffering. So I approached this person and asked, "Is there anything I can help you with?" He requested me, if you could arrange a fan, that would be very helpful because these mosquitoes are becoming a major issue for us throughout the night. It's not easy for us to spend. I was able to arrange a fan. I put a local WhatsApp post in our community for that apartment complex. There was a gentleman who had a brand new fan. He gave it to me. I dispatched it in the morning to this person and say, "Okay, here you go, the fan that you have requested." On the same day evening, when I came back to the apartment building, the fan was not there. I asked him, "What happened to the fan that I gave you?" He said it was taken away by the supervisor. The reason being, he said, if you have the fan, what about rest of the security personnel? So I went and spoke with the supervisor saying, I can make arrangements for the fans for everyone. Don't worry about it. But even still, the guy doesn't want to take any help from us. It's another weird situation that I came across. People are suffering, and when the community is coming forward to help them, they doesn't want to take it. They just want to give a hard path to the people who are working there. So that's another deep impression that actually left on me. What's the problem with the thought process? Why are they not taking the help? So this is an interesting incident that happened in Tirupati. My wife, my children, along with them, my parents, we all went to Tirupati to have a darshan. There are two different lines. One line is for the NRIs. The other line is for the senior citizens. The advantage of these two lines, you can finish the darshan in maybe 3 hours rather than going through the general line. Maybe takes 10 hours or longer. So we took our passports, but unfortunately my parents forgot to bring their green card. So at the entrance of the NRI queue, I asked the security guard, we have our passports, and my parents forgot to bring their green card, but they actually live in US along with us. Is it fine if you all go through the same NRI line? If you don't allow, then I will ask my parents to take the senior citizen queue, and then we can always converge. The guy said, no problem. You all can go inside together. I don't see any problem, right? So we were inside after 1.5 hours. Midway, there is a guy with, a lot of jewelry, gold jewelry around, his fingers, the chain. He was sitting in a table and he was asking for some documents. I gave my document and I explained the situation. My parents did not bring the green card, but the security guard actually allowed us inside. He said, I'm so sorry that I cannot let you inside unless you have a document. So I argued with the guy and told him, we checked. That guy actually allowed us. We have been in this queue for almost 1.5 hours. If you are saying that you cannot allow us inside now, what will happen to my parents? Totally disrupts our whole process of visiting the guard, right? Then he said, I have a solution for you. I asked, what is the solution? He said, pay me 1,000 rupees each. Then I will let your parents inside. I said, I'm not going to pay you. There is no reason why I should pay you. Particularly, I checked and I came in. You have to let me inside. He said, if I don't pay him, he said he won't let them inside. I told him I will go complain to your supervisor. He said go for it. He was so careless. He said go for it. I was so upset. Everyone actually came out of that line, exited the queue, and I was searching for the supervisor's building where this guy is so that I can complain on this person. Finally, I found and located. I know the supervisor is inside, but he doesn't want to meet with us. Immediately, I understood. These people are all completely connected, and probably that guy might already know that I'm actually coming there. I was so disappointed that I could not have a darshan in that visit, to be honest, right? We spent so much effort going there. Just because of that incident, we turned back without having a darshan. While I was coming back from this supervisor's building, I was walking by the same line system. I saw many others actually yelling at this guy and coming out very unhappily. The thing that struck me at the time was I'm not alone. There are many others who are getting impacted. And the big enlightening thing that happened to me was there are many, many good people who are getting impacted. And the number of people, if you count, who are bad may not be as many as the good people are. But the benefit that bad people have is they are operating with connectivity. The good people are not connected, right? If all the good people are connected together, the bad can be eliminated and a lot of good can be given, right? So that was a big learning for me during that visit. So here you see there is a cow eating a plastic paper. I took this picture in my street during those 2 years I was there. Just imagine what will happen to the cow eating a plastic which is completely chemical. God knows, what it will do to the cow. And also imagine what will happen to the milk coming out of the cow. We drink milk, right? We have no idea where the source of the milk is coming from. All sorts of milk is getting mixed and we are drinking. And there is no surprise why we are having so many health-related issues. So this thing I felt really sad about the cow and the people who has to consume the milk from this cow. This is a picture from Chennai. There are a lot of streams in Chennai. These streams used to be freshwater streams. People can take a bath and do fishing, boating. I don't think there is a single stream left anymore. Everything is completely spoiled and see with full of garbage and people are living around it. I cannot imagine how we can sustain like this, right? So this is something is happening. Garbage, if you see, it's being given everywhere. Every time I visit Hyderabad, I was like pretty much surprised to see how people are dumping the garbage left and right. It kind of breaks my heart when I see it. While they are dumping this garbage, you could also see people are lighting fire, which will actually emit a lot of poisonous gases, right? Where does this gas go? I mean, it's going to be trapped in the atmosphere, and there's the same poisonous gases we all will be inhaling, which is not really good for the environment. People think, lighting a fire to the garbage is a solution, and the whole thing will be gone. That's not the solution. And the plastic they actually dump, it's going to take at least 1,000 years for it to disintegrate. It's causing a lot of problems to the environment. And this vehicle pollution, we all know anytime you have a diesel engine or a petrol engine, when these vehicles are running, it's emitting carbon dioxide, which is pretty much aware. But there are many cars I have seen the black smoke, a high amount of like emissions coming out of these vehicles, and nobody cares about them. Every time I see it, it suffocates me, right? There has to be better checks to make sure the pollution is under control. At least we know we cannot stop driving. The least that we could do is, could we reduce the emissions at least, right? This is something I'm noticing very prominently. A lot of cars, trucks, they are not regulated. Driving conditions, again, is another big challenge, particularly, I have seen driving in Chennai, I have seen driving in Hyderabad. I was also in Mumbai for a little bit. Driving in Hyderabad is like crazy. There is really no law. People can just drive however they want. Lots of accidents. I've seen it. Like 2 days ago, I was going to some rural area nearby Hyderabad. We came across a railway crossing. We waited there for like 25-30 minutes. What we saw, people were actually filling up the lanes on both sides. We are supposed to stay on the left side. We were sincerely, staying on the left side, but the people who are behind us, they started filling up the right side. The same situation happened for the other side of the level crossing as well. Then how are we going to effectively cross the lane once the gates are open? I have no idea why people do those kind of mindless activities. It's going to delay everyone if they don't follow the rules. So this is something it's actually getting worse. Now you have so many cars. The biggest problem, I would say, is related with food that's happening in India. We are using heavy amount of pesticides, unbelievable amount of pesticides. We are just not able to see it. We buy vegetables, we think, yeah, these are like fresh vegetables, but silently it is impacting us. We all know about the, what is this, like a COVID timeframe, right? We have this coronavirus and a lot of people died. We don't see it, but it is impacting us, right? Same is the situation with the pesticides. It's going crazy. Beyond that, nowadays we are eating a lot on outside. During my childhood, I don't recollect eating outside very much. Oftentimes we cook at home, and only when we are traveling, that's the only occasion we go to the restaurants. But now, call it like Zomato, Swiggy, just, it's like a few minutes away. If you need something in 10 minutes, you get your food. That food, if you really track the source, first thing, I don't know how well they will wash the vegetables. And second thing, we don't know if these utensils that they use are properly rinsed, what kind of water they use, and then what kind of cooking oils they use. Lots of issues. And beyond that, there is also something called GMO. I don't know how many of you people have heard about GMO. It's called genetically modified organism. They modify the corn seed, for example. They take it to the lab and they modify the DNA so that it actually produces toxin, and the toxin will keep the pests away, the insects away. If these insects ever eat corn, they will die. But that's the same corn we are eating. The scientists are saying, okay, that has no impact on the human being because our body don't process that toxin. That's not entirely true because our human gut has quite a lot of bacteria living in them. It is probably around maybe 2 kilograms or maybe 1 kilogram. It just varies from person to person. We have a lot of bacteria in our stomach, right, in our intestines. And if they are processing this genetically modified food, it's going to have an impact on them. If they die, we die, right? So food is a major issue that's going on. And beyond that, a lot of adulteration. People mix, like they make like plastic rice. Just 2 days ago, it happened to me. I bought like an organic A2 yogurt, thinking, okay, it's a very good yogurt, right? It's a branded one. After I started eating that yogurt, I felt a little bit eating like a detergent. I stopped. And then I did a lookup online and I searched what are the adulteration they do for the milk and the yogurt. One of the adulteration they do is like detergent. I strongly believe the adulteration did happen, and in the way of doing some lab test on that yogurt to see what happened to it, because I definitely felt it. So it's too bad. The food is being adulterated all across India. Imagine the population who is growing up eating that kind of food. Nowadays, people are just around 25 years. They have gray hair, losing hair, fertility related issues like premature aging. Like we even though a person is actually 30 years, looking more like 50 years, right? So it's all due to the quality of food that we are actually eating. So coming back to this pollution, the left side, you see a lung that's actually was smoking around 20 cigarettes a day. The right side is a healthy pink lung. In 1980s, the ratio of the bad lung versus good lung is like 1:10. Out of 10 individuals, you come across one black lung, right, in 1980s. But nowadays, doctors are saying it's 1:1. 50% of the population, the lung is not pink anymore. We have like too much of pollution going on. And the lung cancer is more common after 50 years, way back then in 1980, right? But now, as early as 28 years, people are getting like lung cancers, which is crazy. And also the pollution amount that we have today, it's equivalent to smoking 50 cigarettes. Many of us feel proud that, we don't smoke. But then, unfortunately, we are actually smoking around 50 cigarettes a day. Based on where you live, of course, but that's not good. And also the difference between smoking versus pollution. Smoking has limited chemicals, but when you are inhaling pollution outside, God knows, right, what kind of chemical you are inhaling. People might be lighting up a plastic or a tire or whatnot. You have no idea what you're actually inhaling. And then my belief system is this, right? I have seen what my mom actually went through in the 2 years. It actually gave me a different perspective in life. It's a very, very strong feeling. I'm sure many of you at some point will come across what I actually came across. I came to a realization I definitely not going to live forever. That's a fact. All of us know, but we don't feel it. We don't realize it, right? But I felt it. When I saw what my mom was going through, I felt it, right? And then immediately when I felt that I'm not going to live forever, then what am I going to do for the remaining portion of my life? What is that I'm going to give back, right? So that kind of thought process actually kicked in for me. And then I also started realizing money is not everything, and it's not going to give happiness. Of course, it is important to have the basic needs are met, but beyond, I don't know if that's going to do any good for us, right? As I was going through this type of experience, it felt more like a spiritual type of experience when you wanted to do something good, you want to help the society. I have seen a lot of problems during those 2 years. And then I also wanted to see how I can help. I want to share my solution, how I'm planning on addressing these his problems. And most importantly, right, when you do something good, the good will naturally come back in some form. You don't do good for the sake of it coming back, but that's how it generally works. If you help your friend is going to help you out. That's the way it works, right? And during this journey, I'm making a lot of good friends, a lot of good people that I am meeting. It is extremely healthy for the mind. It is giving a lot of happiness, which money cannot. Money can give you very short-lived happiness. Okay, you buy a car. Okay, you are very happy for a week, and then what? Now you need a plane, right? After you buy a plane, and now you need something else, right? So money will give you happiness very, very short-lived, but doing something selflessly that you want to help the community, that happiness is more prominent, and it'll live for longer, right? And the other belief system is we have a lot of good people, but they are all not connected. Everyone is suffering alone, right? The bad people are all connected, and they are ruining the system. So we need to find a way, how do we bring all the good people together? So that will make a huge difference. Right? So these are my belief systems, what actually kicked me towards starting the foundation. So I want to share a small story. I got this through WhatsApp. I'm sure many of you might have come across this story, but it's a very, very good story. So the way it goes, there is a businessman in the car driving back from some business event. On the way back, he sees a pandit giving some lecture to the young couple. In that, he says, "We all know that we will die, but yet we chase after the money, which we cannot take it along. In spite of knowing isn't it weird that we chase for money and we live for money?" So by hearing this, this businessman gets annoyed, and he thinks just because this pandit doesn't have the money, he's just justifying, and he's giving this kind of lecture. The next day, he goes to the office. This businessman goes to the office, and first the employees about like an idea. He wants an idea how he can take all the wealth that he has after the death. Everyone looks at him like a madman, and sees he's like out of his mind. And so pretty much a lot of them tries to avoid him after that incident. After several days, one stranger comes by this businessman and says, "I have an idea which will solve what you are looking to do." This businessman, surprises and sees, nobody was able to help him all this while, and there is somebody came up with an idea, and he was curious to know what it was. The stranger first asks this businessman, saying, "Have you visited foreign countries?" This rich guy says, "Yeah, I mean, I visited many countries." Then the stranger asks, "Did you visit US?" He said, "Yes, I visited US," right? He asked, "How do you spend the money? Like, how do you spend rupees there?" For that, this business guy laughs and says, you cannot spend rupees there. You need to convert the rupees to dollars, and that's how it works, right?" And then he asks, "Have you visited England?" He said, "Yes, I visited England." Like, do you think like rupees will work there? Again, this rich guy says, "No, it doesn't work that way. Like, I have to convert that to British pound, and then I could use it." So then the stranger actually explains that's exactly how things work. After your death, you actually go to heaven. The currency there is punya. What you need to do is, in your lifetime, you should spend your money to accumulate punya so that you can spend once you are in heaven, right? So this rich man actually gets convinced, and then start doing dharma, which I like fully believe in, because if we all think, right, it's not possible for us to take anything with us, right? The best thing to do is have enough during the lifetime, and then see what you can do for others. That will give you like immense happiness, and that will hopefully, like collect punya, and that will really help after life, right? So in 22, I had a chance to meet with Sonu Sood. We went to Mumbai. On the left side, you see his name is Fani. Um, we both we both went to meet with Sonu Sood because he's doing a great job. It was very inspirational of what he was doing. In fact, he actually took a loan on one of his house, and then that's how he was able to help the migratory workers at the time. So that inspiration is what driven us to think about starting a foundation to do what to do, our part. So that was quite inspirational for us. We did the very first project in a government high school. I'll give you a quick overview of our concept. I wish I had some slides, but the concept is quite simple. We want to collect the computers from corporates after they use it for a few years. I think these computers are still good enough for the schools rather than recycling. If we can collect those computers in a reasonable shape and utilize them in the schools for teaching the children how to use computers, right? I strongly believe the computers can be used as a learning tool. With that, they can learn mathematics, physics, chemistry. During my childhood, when I was reading physics, I had to read a book. I have to imagine how certain things work, like simple harmonic motion, for example, right? If there is a way you could have like 3D model and some sort of animation playing, like how a simple harmonic motion works, a lot of things is easily understood, right? So using computers, we can learn education very easily. So my thought process is, let's get the computers. Let's actually find volunteers who has like-minded thinking to help the school children. If you take these two things together, right, you have hardware and you have the volunteers, and then you deploy them in the schools. Just like 5 volunteers can change the school entirely. What we do every week, we go to the school on Saturdays, spend like 2 hours, 3 hours with the children, teach them some of the basics of computers. We start with a very basic thing of showing the hardware, what is it inside, so that they don't feel like it's a black box. Rather, they look at the machine with some perspective. They know what is a hard disk, what is the memory, what is the CPU, what is the motherboard, and what is a monitor, right? Keyboard, mouse. So we explain all the parts. And then we also talk about some of the softwares, the internet browsing, teach them some of the basics like Excel, Word, and then about internet. Now we take them to internet and show them how to do searches, how to satisfy their curiosity. So that's what we have been doing, and it's coming out very well. The very first school here, so he was the headmaster of the school. He was like so helpful. In fact, after we did our first session in that school, the number of applications for the school actually skyrocketed because the word was out on the street saying, okay, this school is actually teaching computers and it's going to be very useful for the future of the children. They got like lots of applications, right? And we felt like so happy. See, that happiness money cannot buy. We were so happy that we were able to make a good impact on those children. And the plan is not necessarily just the computers. We also want to teach social values, particularly have a sense. Let's say if you are in a standing in a line, I have seen people cutting the line like crazily. Does it mean like a person who is standing has no respect or no value of their time? They have to follow certain system, right? Japan is like really good at that. Like, don't throw the garbage wherever you feel like, don't leave the sewage in the streets. Just take care of your environment carefully. So a lot of ethical values we should teach. I'm going to touch upon like one thing. I think there is a different ethical values compared with the people who lived many years ago versus the current generation. A simple example I will tell you, right? When we recruit an employee for our company name is Valero. So we release offers to the candidates. They commit and say like they will join on July 15th, and we totally believe them. Yeah, they are coming on July 15th, and we share that profile with our client and say, yeah, this person is going to be joining on July 15th. But then on 14th or so, when we follow up, silence. This guy is nowhere to be found. What candidates are doing, they are gathering the offers from all the companies and keeping them until to the last moment. And then they are choosing which company to join, right? That is not ethical. What is ethical is giving interviews and exploring, that is perfectly fine. But do not commit, right? Once a commitment is made, companies are actually waiting on them. So I saw that as a big gap, some of what I'm seeing. And also during my lifetime, when I was going to my job, I treated work as worship. It is like so important. I have to go and I have to give my everything, whatever I have. I don't know if we have like similar values. I'm not saying, don't lead your life, do the work all the time, but we should respect the work which is feeding us, right? There has to be some loyalty. There are many things. I think things are very different compared with the people who lived, 80s, 90s, and then the kind of people we have now. Maybe I need to get educated more, but those are some examples that I have come across. So yeah, so with this, I'm not going to go on to the next slide because my audio is for some reason not playing. I want to hand it off back to Alicia. She will play the video for me, and you guys can see what kind of work we are doing for one of the school. And then we can take up any questions at the end of this session. So Alicia, it's all yours. You could play the video.
In a world full of possibilities, every child deserves a chance to shine. Children hold an abundance of potential, exploring ways to thrive in this world. But without guidance, support, and mentorship, that potential remains locked away. As part of our mission, we successfully completed our first project at Sangareddy Government School near Hyderabad, Telangana. A school without computers and internet facilities, a place where potential was waiting to be unlocked. We brought in computers and internet access and also provide teaching assistance to empower the students by enabling the technology and knowledge necessary to thrive in today's world. Our goal is to instill the right values at roots to uplift society for a better environment. Thanks to the incredible BCF team, whose dedication and hard work made this transformative project possible. With the unwavering support of our team, we're not just changing lives, we're reimagining the next generation. Together, we have the power to make a lasting difference. Join us on this journey.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for explaining the reason behind the initiative. It was truly inspiring knowing your personal story and how it drove the entire journey for BCF. I think, along with me, all the attendees would have connected with it too. Now we'll get started with how are we driving this initiative. So the slide that we see right now is about sessions at school, and it simply means how are we conducting these sessions and how are we planning the entire process for BCF. So we have planned around 14 sessions for the school over the period of next 5 months. 8 sessions on hands on computer skill sets, 2 sessions on social values, 2 sessions on yoga, 2 sessions on health awareness. But as you see the number of sessions on screen, it might not be exactly the same way. We do check kids, background and how much sessions would they need, and these sessions can vary. Like some might need, 4 sessions, 5 sessions on social values. In some schools, or certain kids might need 4 or 5 sessions on health awareness. So these do vary. Now, before we start, we do take tests for the students to understand their current knowledge. This helps us to actually tailor the sessions to each student's needs, and it's very important because we do understand that every kid is different, every student is different, and their needs and their aspirations might be different. So these are very tailor made. Even if you see a fixed number on screen, these keeps changing. Now going on to the next. Okay, this is one of our, this is a milestone slide, as I may call it. In the last 5 months, we have completed projects at 3 schools. Sangareddy Government High School, which Krishna has already spoken about since it was our first project, and the schools in Nampally and Chadeghat. The headmasters of these schools were very happy with the results, and we have asked us to expand the program to 15 more schools. We have already started projects in 5 schools around Hyderabad, which will be finished by August this year. Since our recent press meet, we have received over 35 new requests from different parts of India. Although we are based in Telangana and most of our volunteers are in South India, we have had requests from places like Delhi, Pune, Bombay, Calcutta, and many more. This is for all of you. Why? Because this slide also explains how each one of you can help us. If you want to help, you do not really have to just donate us money like most of the organizations or NGOs do ask for. We have a very, very different ask from all of you. The first ask is we want you to be a part of BCF. And how? By volunteering. And there are three different kind of volunteering activities that you see on screen. That is one-time help, 1 hour weekly, and 2+ hour weekly. So one-time help is where you come in, you share your life stories, you provide general guidance. But in the other one, where it is 1 hour weekly and 2+ hour weekly, you actually participate more by teaching and mentorship, and that can come across in any field that you have specialization with. We do not have a special ask here. So the points are quite clear on screen, like speeches, training, social values, etc. The other thing that we really need help from you, all of you, is the donation in terms of hardware and especially computers. Like Krishna has mentioned, all his problems and all the societal problems that we have might be been facing. The root cause towards it is definitely education, and the place where we can actually solve it is through kids. So bridging the gap, we need to create awareness for these kids, and more than money, this window of awareness can only happen through education and digital literacy that can happen through computers. So I'm sure most of you would be from different organization, teaching institution, or even personally. If you have multiple desktops, hardwares in terms of mouse, keyboards, laptops, either old or used, we do not have a categorization over there. Please, please, please do reach out to Bright Child Foundation, and we would be very happy if you can help with that. Okay, next we have a poll. It'll be on your screen. We have a poll on our screen. I would request you all to please start answering this and how. I would repeat the question. Would you like to become involved with the Bright Child Foundation? Please specify your area of interest. It can be volunteering, it can be donating, other ways to contribute, or you might take time to understand Bright Child Foundation. Anything is okay. But I would like all of you to answer. Please select your option and press submit. Time is running out. I would request all of you to please, please start entering your option on screen and press submit. Anything that you're interested in, there's 2 more minutes for the poll to end. You might be interested in volunteering, you might be interested in donating, or maybe both, which one you feel like, other ways to contribute, anything that you're interested in. I'm sure each of your options would also come along with a lot of questions in your mind that how would you do this? We'll cover all your doubts in the Q&A session. So if you enter your option, we will be able to help you in a better way. 1 more minute to go. Please enter your options and enter submit. Thank you. We are ending the polls. I see a lot of people have also answered in chat that what would they like to do. And many people have entered volunteering. Many people have also shared what they are interested in and where are they from. I would now request my team to turn on everyone's mic. We are heading towards the Q&A session. We have heard Krishna, how he explained his entire journey and what BCF is here for. And since a lot of people are interested in donating and volunteering, I have unmuted everyone's mic. Please raise your hands. There's an option on the top. You see people, Q&A, there's an option where you see your hand and it says raise. Please click on raise and start asking the questions that you want to answer, and we will unmute your mic. Okay, we have P. Rajan. We'll unmute your mic. Please ask your question.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
very happy that Mr. Krishna has shared his personal experience, how he started his education, and then till now what has happened. Very clearly he has explained it. And I think since 2022, you started this initiative, Bright Child Foundation. So it's hardly 2 years,
No,
maybe.
actually, yeah, thank you so much, Rajan. Actually, it's 23 summer. It's been like maybe a
Okay,
year or
fine.
so. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and yeah. So I just want to know about the organization as such, whether the organization background, the governance part of it, and the compliance part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes little time to settle down. I
Yeah.
understand, but
Correct.
the governance part, I would like to be
Yeah. So,
explained.
yeah, absolutely. As far as when it comes to governance, we have been pretty strict in terms of applying the necessary licenses. So, my team is taking care of getting all the licenses. In particular, they are also working on FCRA so that we can get donations from abroad. I have also kickstarted the registration of this NGO in US as well, so that we can go after companies and maybe other charities to support us, so that we can transfer that money to run the organization here in India. So one thing I will assure you is we want to help the children, and we want to make sure we audit, we track, everything is going to be airtight. We don't want to have anything fallen through the cracks. And we are doing this with a pure heart. And we have no other hidden agenda behind this. It's all about the future generation, and it's all about the country. That's the primary intent. If there is anything in particular you want to help us say, it's better that you follow these practices and all that, we'll be very happy to work with you. Because, like I said, we just started only an year ago. We are still learning, and but we made like tremendous progress in such a short period of time. I mean, would that answer your question, Rajan, or do you have any?
Thank you so much. I understand it's a 1 year baby, so
Yeah,
you
it
need
is,
to go
baby.
long,
It
only a
is.
long way to go.
Yes.
So definitely there'll be more people will join hands with you.
Thank
And
you.
I'm very much to be part of Bright Child Foundation. But one
Yeah.
thing which I just wanted to tell you, I have been in the NGO field for the last 50 years, not 1 2 years. 50
Okay.
years I have been in the NGO field. Earlier I was a consultant for UNICEF also. But nowadays the charity mode, it's a way long back. The charity was giving to people. Now it's a world we are living is a right based mode we are living now. So probably you can mix. There is a need for people for the school children as such, but the right mode will be the better option with combined with giving items for the children to learn for the future purpose.
Yeah.
Good, it's fine.
Yeah. 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 Thank you so much, Rajan. Appreciate it. Yeah. So who's next?
Thanks, Rajan, for
Anurag.
taking interest and your feedback.
I think we have Anurag, right? I see.
Yeah, will now unmute Anurag. Please go ahead, Anurag.
Hi, Krishna.
Yeah, hey,
So
Anurag.
nice to hear about the work, and really you started out recently and you have done so much. It's really impressive. My name is Dr. Anurag Nath. I am actually a researcher working for startups and trying to consult them in the sustainability sector. So one of the SDA goals is about sustainable living, and that is one of the main reasons I actually wanted to join as a volunteer here. And I'm from Delhi basically, so I was actually looking forward to whether there are some things that we could do here in Delhi, any schools that you have where you could volunteer or trying to talk about different things. So I'm also in Punjab, so
Okay.
both of the regions covered. And we have been extensively talking with farmers regarding sustainable lifestyles, talking about air pollution, going into schools also through the startups. We are trying to teach them about how to make their air filters, air purifiers, and give them an idea about stubble burning, which is a very serious issue in North India.
It is. It is.
So that's one of the areas we are actually looking forward. We are doing awareness programs, making workshops and all. So in that space, I would like to work with Bright Child Foundation. I see synergies here where we could probably have something that we can do in the same space with students. So I would like to know what your plans are for Delhi or Punjab in that part, because obviously I won't be there in Andhra Pradesh and other places. So yeah.
Yeah.
And what you think as volunteers we could do in that space, and what you have planned for us if we join
Yeah.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much, Anurag. I was actually getting goosebumps when you talk about air filters and educating the farmers about air quality. I don't hear about that anywhere, right? But it's a burning issue. We have to really start addressing those. So in terms of how we can engage and collaborate, I think the model is very simple. We need to identify some poor schools, underprivileged schools, and then along with that, we need to start partnering with some companies around that area so that we will have a volunteering support and hardware support. I'll give you an example. In Hyderabad, on Monday, we are going to receive 10 systems from one company. They saw, what we are doing, and they came forward with hardware donations, as well as they also said they will also provide some volunteers. The model is quite simple. I think we just need to identify the list of companies and then identify the schools. And then we just need to transfer the resources from one to other so that the other side will get benefited in this case, which is the school and the children. We can talk more on this one, Anurag. My team is also planning on visiting Delhi. Maybe we could plan out something where they can come and meet with you and we can strategize. Delhi is definitely, we want to be there.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing
That
that
would
up.
be really nice. Yeah. We can talk in details later. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anurag.
Yeah.
I think Paresh, I see number 3.
Yeah, thanks, Anurag.
I think, did you unmute Paresh?
Paresh, you can unmute yourself and talk. We have enabled your mic.
Yeah, I could see the mic is still muted.
Paresh, are you able to unmute your mic?
Or maybe we can move on to
Okay.
Venkat. In the meantime, Paresh can figure that out. Venkat, can you? Yeah, I could see it's unmuted. Go ahead, Venkat.
Hi. Can you look at me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Venkat. Please go on.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate for your best efforts to work for charity. It is really a nice thing.
Thank you.
Your team is doing a nice job. But from my side, I would like to tell that no questions. I am an academician for the past 37 years. I have a administrative and teacher training also. And I would like to support especially rural schools. I am basically from Andhra Pradesh, now settled in Bangalore, very near to, it is a 1.5 hour journey to my native place, Hindupur, in Andhra Pradesh. So if you have any branches, I would like to extend my full support, especially in my district in Andhra Pradesh, where I can get volunteers also. I can do both online and offline volunteering also in any field of the education. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I greatly appreciate. One of my quick thought is I went I went along with my father for his reunion. He went to his school in 1950s or something like that. The place is called Elu. When I saw my father's friends, I felt like they're all like gems, literally. I felt there is so much I can learn from them, and they can be of such a great help to the society. One of the things that came to my mind is while we are trying to get volunteers who are currently working in software companies or other companies who can help the children through volunteering, I'm also thinking very deep in my mind, if I could get the people who are retired, there is so much we can learn from them. So if there is a way we could start forming groups, particularly people who has retired, for example, they may come from traffic policing system or maybe medical education. There are a lot of things they would have dreamed of doing while they were in the service, but now is the time. They all can come and implement all their ideas to their heart wish. I think that will have a dramatic impact on the society. So that's something I would love to explore moving forward.
And we can definitely do it. It is a good idea. We can think it on it. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I also see some messages. I see. Okay. So by the way, guys, I want to introduce a special person in this meet. Her name is Marion. She's from Seattle, Washington. That's where I am from too. So when I talked about this charity, we had like a one meeting there to talk about the charity. Marion, she comes from educational background. She teaches, she trains the teachers actually. She's like a teacher of a teacher kind, right? Like she has been in this trade for more than 30 years. We both meet every week. In fact, right now the time is probably 11:30 p.m. I told her not to attend, but it seems like she did. Thank you so much, Marianne. I appreciate that you took the time to attend in spite of being midnight there in US. Thank you so much. I just thought of calling that out to you. Okay, any more questions? I think, yeah. So probably what we can do, if you don't have any questions or if you want to follow up, please reach out to us, right? We can make a tremendous impact. Make no mistake. Oftentimes, I see people donating school bags, pens, pencils, this, that, and they feel good about it. Yeah, it's good. I have no complaints in doing that. But if you put that energy in an organized way, the outcome will be very much effective, right? So the way that I really want to do this is let's actually change at least a school level, and then eventually we can spread to multiple states and cities. If this actually spreads across the country, right? The time it takes to really uplift the society will be shortened. So that's one thing I really want to call out. Do you guys actually have any ideas how we can have better penetration? If you want to think a little bit more and get back to us, I would love to hear your ideas. Right? We all need to work together. I mean, we are just implementing what we know at this point. There are a lot of people from educational background, a lot of people from the NGO background. We are all new to this. If you guys can help us out with your ideas, thoughts, and how to structure this, we'll greatly appreciate that. I mean, we're really looking forward to working together with everyone. Okay. So thank you all. I don't think I'm hearing any more questions, but we'll be in touch with you. Truly appreciate for the time you have taken to participate. It's just the beginning. I really want to build friendship with you guys. We all work together and make a change. Okay. Thank you so much, all.
There are just a couple of chats from Irshad, Parshanath, and there's, I think, yeah, and Prashant asking for a couple of PPTs, and they are discussing about their situation. Maybe they were not able to unmute or talk. But yeah, we have noted all these points, and yeah, Irshad, we do understand that how situations are there in Kashmir, and we would, as we have already mentioned, we are pan-India. We do understand that people from Calcutta and Delhi and other all places, we are not place dependent. We have already mentioned. So yeah, we'll reach out to each and every one of you. We'll try and understand the situation at your state and how you can volunteer. Yeah, of course, if it's in West Bengal, like Pareshnath said, and or it's Delhi or Punjab, Kashmir, Gujarat, anywhere.
Yep.
We are talking India as a whole and not a particular place. We have our people everywhere. We have volunteers everywhere. So we will reach out to everyone who has reached out to us on chat as well. As Krishna has already mentioned, we have noted down your questions from chat too. So do not worry about that.
Yeah. And I want to call out one more thing. So we have this Bright Child Foundation website. So when you get a chance, please visit the website and see if any other enhancements we need to make. One of our vision is to enhance the portal so that, let's say you become a volunteer, you will be able to log in. Today, we have an ability. You could actually sign up and you can log in. You can enroll for certain schools to be a volunteer. So you could do a lot of that management within the website. So that actually makes it a bit more easy for you. But the plan is to further enhance that portal so that when we are going after all the states and many cities, we have like single portal where everyone can come in and collaborate. So that way, it's going to be a lot more, tracked and managed well. So it's going to be well executed, but it needs some effort. But that's where I need all of your help and your idea. But that's one thing I thought of letting you guys know. The vision is to go after the whole country, not like one or two schools, right? Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, we will start seeing the change with all the good work that we will be collectively doing together.
Thanks, Krishna.
Yep.
Do you want to add anything else, or should we close the session?
I think I'm good. The last thought is, if anyone has any questions, please reach out to us. Otherwise, we will reach out to you anyway. Looking forward to working together with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining.
Yeah. Bye all.